I remember many years ago, there was this good pastor friend of mine who asked me to preach to his church. And he specifically requested that if I can preach about, tithing. I asked him why. Why, why don't you preach it yourself? He shared to me that he's kind of shy, it's kind of cringy for him talking about finances. And he said that his people might think that he's asking for alms. And I reminded him that tithes and offerings is not about us pastors. It may affect us directly, yes, but this is more of an issue of heart than pertaining to us. So I just want to share to you what the word is saying about tithes and offering and about it in relation with our pastors nowadays. In the book of Leviticus 27:32, it says, every tenth animal from the herd of or flock which passes under the shepherd's rod will be holy to the Lord. You see, a tithe was to be given to the Levites, who in turn were to give a tithe of the tithe to the priests. Numbers 18:21 to 32. You see, what are the practical life application regarding these verses? Well, fast forward to 2025 in our present day. It reminds us that Levites during the time of Deuteronomy and the book of Numbers, Levites nowadays are the ordained ministers. We celebrate Pastor's Appreciation every month of October, and as a pastor, I really appreciate it. I always look forward to this season. But do you know that you can appreciate your pastors daily? You don't have to wait for that one Sunday during autumn time. Daily, you can appreciate your pastor. You see, in Deuteronomy, the Israelites were also to bring a tithe of their produce and animals and eat it with the Levites before the Lord in Jerusalem as an act of festal worship. The word is saying that during those times they will bring their tithes, offerings, and then they will share it with their Levites and eat it, no, in a festive mood. Again, in Deuteronomy, it says that also every third year a tithe was to be stored up in the towns for Levites, strangers, widows, and orphans. Okay, that's the point. So they have this, they don't have those monetary system yet. So they bring in the tithes in the form of grains, in the form of fruits or animals or whatsoever. So the tenth of that ikapu, every 10% goes to a storehouse. So that is for the Lord. But you know what? It goes back to them because they give it to the Levites. It is not something that they burn. They give it to the Levites, the strangers, widows, and orphans. So with these tithes, they become the hands and feet of Christ. In 2025, how do we become hands and feet of Christ? In our practical application nowadays, our tithes and offering goes to the Levites, aka now our ordained ministers. It goes to our missions, evangelism, discipleship, compassionate ministries, just like what we did in Isla Verde. Alam niyo, while the word offerings may refer to offerings in general, it seems to refer here dun sa Malachi 3:8 that I shared to you. No? Ang ibig sabihin nito, no, as well as those portion of the tithes, no, ito ay designated para sa mga pari, mga priests, or present day time natin, we call them pastors. If the Levites and priests would not receive the tithes and offerings during their time, they would have to turn to other means of supporting themselves. So, ang nangyayari, they will work. As a result, the temple ministry would suffer. And that is something the Lord doesn't want to happen. So, fast forward in 2025, practical life application, Levites, sabi natin, are ordained ministers. These are our senior pastors who work full time. And for me, if you are a senior pastor, kahit small or big church pa man yan, just for me, you should be working full time because running a small or medium or big church is the same. You still run a church and your undivided attention requires it. So, you see, practical life application. Failure to give tithes and offerings during their time, nagsasuffer daw yung temple ministry. As a result, the temple ministry would suffer. God will not be pleased. Then blessing will not flow to the nation of Israel. And that is something that we don't want to happen nowadays. We don't want that blessings, not just in monetary form, that na hindi magflow sa atin. We want the blessings of God in all areas of our life. If we really truly love our pastors, we would support them. Now, if you continue to rob God, then you continue to rob the pastors of their livelihood because they will be forced to move out of the church, leave the ministry because they have also mouth to feed and bills and tuition fees to pay just like you. So it's not right that they're becoming selfless and you continue to become selfish. The calling of God for all of us today is to be fair. God is more than fair. He gave you 90, He's asking for 10. What He's requiring you is to be fair. Just give the 10, keep the 90, keep the temple ministry running, keep your pastors at least. You see, if you give your 10%, it will not make them rich. But if you give the 10%, it assures that they will eat. Imagine all the sacrifices that they are doing for you. We're not talking about ourselves. We're talking about the next pastors, the next generation of Joshua, generation pastors of our church. It will be hard to convince our young people to take over a ministry if they don't see that their own flock supports them. I hope you learned something this afternoon. God bless you. Bye bye.